Hello everyone! In this video, I'll be putting together a summary of who Raphael is and his relationship with you based on the easily accessible content from the game. Hopefully, this will help us better understand this world-renowned talented artist who has a penchant for being dramatic.
Whoa, stay back. You're not allowed near me after touching that. You have to choose, me or the cat.
Based on Raphael's mythicon, we know that he is from Lemuria, an ancient underwater civilization that once flourished on Philos and is protected by the god of the sea. Lemurians are blessed with beauty, and once you tame a Lemurian, they were the most loyal and
When
powerful
your
servant,
highness has
and they would
yet to lay
listen to
eyes
your
on it,
every command,
is
even if
persistence
it cost
necessary?
them their life. As such, they were highly sought after by nobles as a symbol of wealth and status.
Perhaps in a dream?
In this timeline, you are a princess whose heart has been blessed by the gods. The power from your heart protects Philos and grants immortality to its denizens. As you play such an important role, you can never leave the palace, though you yearn to see the world outside and to be seen for who you really are. One day, while attempting your 99th escape, you meet Raphael and begged him to bring you outside the palace walls. During this escapade, we learn that you are not from the royal family, but adopted after they discovered your powers. While hanging out with Raphael, you also learned that he was the
Is your
Lemurian boy who
highness
was
not my
gifted to you
master?
many years ago. Because you had set him free then, he is
Once
indebted to
Lemurians
you.
are bound to someone, we can never go against them. Our bond has existed for years. Long before the sea dried up. To take back what he's lost, the god of the sea must kill
Behind
his
this
beloved.
facade that Raphael had revealed to you, he is actually on a quest to retrieve the heart that currently resides in your body. This heart had been gifted to you by the last god of the sea, Raphael himself, and is now essential for him to reawaken the seas and save Lemuria. When Raphael brings you to the ruins of Lemuria, your memory is jolted and you finally remember your past. You
Do you
willingly offer
understand
to
the weight
return the
of your
heart to
words?
him to fulfill the Lemurian prophecy. But Raphael, who has always been deeply in love with you, refuses. He believes that Lemurians must rewrite their
Though you are
story with their
resolved
own
for its
hands. So
return,
he destroys the
I cannot
prophecy,
accept
which
it.
effectively erases your memory and breaks the
A
bonds
god
between
must
both of
protect
you.
his
By
followers.
the end of the
If the
myth,
legend
you
pertaining
regain
to the
your
god of the
memories and
sea is
elopes with him.
inevitable, shouldn't the god of the sea himself change the story? If the ending is fixed, let us start anew and be rid of this tale.
Fast forward to Earth after the Chrono Rift catastrophe in 2034. Lemuria had been discovered in the oceans southeast of Lincoln City. Based on the anecdotes, we learned that humans had destroyed the underwater civilization. Many Lemurians were killed or kidnapped for medical experiments. Raphael continues his quest to save his people and provide them a dignified life on Earth. In Siren's song, he becomes an opera singer in Verona and used his siren song to assassinate a certain Mr. Fallon who had committed crimes against the sea. From Verona, he traveled to Lincoln City in the anecdote Addictive Pain to search for you. When he found out that you're studying in the University of Lincoln, he accepts their invite to be an adjunct lecturer of the arts so that he can be closer to you. A private investigator updates Raphael that many people already have set their eyes on you, such that the threads of fate have already spun a web around her, suggesting that once again we will be witnessing your role in changing the fate of the world and possibly dying in the process. But Raphael isn't phased, since he's been in the game since the beginning. Raphael has to plan meticulously to appear by your side, without falling prey himself to others who are keen to capture him. He can afford not to rush, since he plans to spend the rest of his days with you to slowly and steadily settle the score. But what score?
The fish is
Your
gonna slip
paths
away,
finally cross in chapter 1 of the main story.
Ta-da!
While helping a young boy catch a flamula, a red fish from the Lemurian legends, Raphael appears and
The owner
effortlessly
probably just
fishes
wanted to
it
throw
out
in
of
some
the
fish
pond.
to fit the
You
theme.
learn that he's trying to get to Het
But this
Island,
one,
which has
bright
been
as a
closed off
flame,
due
is
to
a real
wanderers.
flamula
Your
from
fleeting
Lemurian
encounter
legends.
continues in chapter 2. After investigating the painting in Raymond's mansion, which had been infused with metaflux, causing Raymond to hallucinate, you trace the steps to Raphael, the famous creator of that painting. Raphael claimed that he was innocent, and that the metaflux probably came from the unique materials he used to create his paint. But is he really innocent? Let's put the evidence together. In case you didn't realize it, there is a skeleton of a Lemurian in the center of Raymond's mansion. Since Raymond is a man who is willing to do anything in the pursuit of science, it isn't too far fetched to assume he might have been responsible for unethical medical practices conducted on Lemurians, such as removing their scales
It's
and
just
extracting
art.
copious amounts
Don't
of blood
overthink
from
it,
them
son.
until they are a shell of their former selves. In the world underneath story, Bouquets and Dirges, Raphael informs Talia, his aunt, that Raymond is dead, which brought much relief to her. He brings a bouquet of yellow gardenias, which symbolizes freedom, happiness, and rebirth, to Raymond's funeral, a blatant defiance in the funeral parlor decked in black and white. Raymond's mother accused him of killing her son, but Raphael ignores her. He leaves the bouquet on the coffin, though his actions clearly show that he is offering them to the Lemurian skeleton in the fish tank. Given Raphael's past and his current quest to bring his people home, I doubt he is innocent. Now, while going through some materials in the Hunter Association database, you learn that Raphael has appeared on the bounty list in N109. So, how did a harmless painter like Raphael get himself onto this list? In the story Long Lost Treasures, we learned that Evergroup had tasked one of his raincoats to destroy evidence that an up and coming movie director, Tony, had obtained about Lemuria and to silence him. Tony had unearthed information about a Deepspace Academy expedition to Lemuria that Evergroup wanted to keep under wraps. The most incriminating evidence is the discovery of a human skeleton holding a protocol weapon, a weapon that's supposed to have been invented only recently. Evergroup went so far to cause the disappearance of the entire archaeological team. Raphael intercepts the raincoat. He destroys the evidence and convinces him to work for Raphael instead. In exchange for protection, Raphael wanted to know if a certain girl is on the Evergroup hits list, and if she were, to hand over all the information they have on her to him. The raincoat directs Raphael to meet with someone at the nest to obtain the information he wants. He also informs Raphael that he himself is on the Evergroup's hit list. This
Now's
probably
not the time
explains
to
how
celebrate.
Raphael appeared
The
in the
big fish
bounty
we want
list
hasn't
and
fallen
the
for it
reason for
yet.
the
Did
meeting
you
he
bring the
had at the
stuff I
nest at
requested?
the end of chapter 8 while you were trying to fight your way out. He didn't
Fun with
double
handing
cross
over a
you.
fresh catch
His
just like
actions were
that.
probably meant to shield you from Evergroup's clutches.
Do you really think they can handle the prey I caught?
So why is Raphael so devoted to you? In the Bond story, Knightly
Things
Stroll, Raphael recounts the story of a
got
merman who had been
complicated.
stranded on land but was
It's all
rescued
because
by
of
a
that
human
girl.
girl who he
I
fell
guess
in love with.
she didn't
She promised to
understand.
return to him but somehow
If you go
completely
around
forgot her
rescuing
promise,
strays, people
thus
tend to fall
trapping the
in love with
merman
you.
in a cruel love trap. The merman is
This
Raphael,
friend
and the girl
is
who had
you,
saved him
isn't it?
Well,
was you, though
what
it's
if it
not clear
is
to
me?
me whether this happened on
I
Philos
waited
or
for
on
her
Earth.
for a long,
Now
long
back to chapter
time,
7,
and she
you
never
had
appeared
accompanied
again.
Raphael to Het Island to obtain a rare protocol
If you
in
open your
exchange for the
heart, you
information
can
on how to
establish a
enter
connection
N109 zone. During this
and
trip,
share your power.
Raphael taught you to use your resonance evil to lure out a deluged wormlot. After
Really?
defeating it together, both of you were swept
If
out
you
into the
believe,
ocean. As you struggled to swim to the surface, you saw Raphael being surrounded by a school of fish drawing him towards a whirlpool. Corresponding this to the descriptions in the long lost
Stay
treasures
back.
story, I believe
Otherwise,
this
I
portal would
can't
have led
guarantee
him
your
back to
safety.
Lemuria. He was about to swim into it when you called out to him with your last breath. The outline of a red glowing fish appeared over his hut, beckoning him to return to
Not your
you.
concern.
Lemurians are loyal to a fault, and once they are bound to you, they will follow your every command. Like Xavier, the present Raphael came from Philos. However, it is not clear to me whether he is the god of the sea, since this Raphael had been gifted to you as a boy when you were a
You
princess.
forgot
We
everything and
also
you're
don't know
still
what happened
obsessed.
after the princess eloped with Raphael in the Mist story. Either way,
All
he's
right.
now on Earth and is
This is
biding
my
his time
chance.
to return to your side and settle the score with you for forgetting him. So while you may be smitten by Raphael's dramatic antics, don't forget that behind all that goofiness is a man who has gone to extreme length to save his people and the woman he loves. So
It's
let me know
settled
what
then.
you think about
If you don't
my
return now,
interpretation of the story in the comments
I'll
and
chase
whether
you to
there are
the
other
ends of the
aspects
earth.
of Raphael's law that I might have missed out. Till next time, bye!